Here's a weird thought. While you're scrolling, your cat is probably somewhere nearby quietly running your household like a tiny, furry operations manager. You think they're just napping in a sunbeam, but behind those half-closed eyes is a full-time employee on the clock: security, maintenance, emotional support, pest control, vibe curator. Cats are like the coworkers who look unbothered yet somehow keep the whole place from falling apart. Today, let's pull back the curtains on all the things your cat does for you without you even knowing. First, the silent alarm system. That random 3 a.m. patrol. Your cat is doing perimeter checks. Their hearing is ridiculous. They can catch the click of a settling baseboard or a beetle sneaking under the dishwasher from the other room like it was played on speakers. While you're out cold, they are walking the halls, nose twitching, ears like satellite dishes. When you wake up and think, why were you yelling at the wall? The chances are something did move in that wall. Even the Zoomies aren't just chaos, they're pressure testing the runway. Your cat maps the fastest routes through the house, memorizes landings, checks traction on rugs, verifies that every room still smells like home. If anything is off, new box, strange scent, door cracked open, they clocked it. You get a free night watch with a tiny tail. Then there's the therapist who never invoices you. When you sit down after a rough day and your cat drifts into your lap with the exact amount of weight you can handle, you're being calibrated. They read micro cues: your breathing speed, how much you're moving, whether you are staring off or scrolling too hard. This is not accidental. To a cat, your emotional weather matters because your mood predicts the environment. Calm human equals steady smells, steady schedule, steady food, so they regulate you. The purr isn't just cute, it's an all-purpose toolkit. It says, "I'm safe," which tells your nervous system to mirror safety back. And it creates a soundscape that drowns out the brain's doomed radio. And yes, the frequency sits in that low range people associate with rest and healing. You're sitting there absorbing a tiny white noise machine that came with whiskers. Your cat tuned that for you. Timing matters, and your cat is your living, purring calendar. Everyone jokes about feline alarm clocks, but notice how you get nudged right as your day should start. Not just at 5:12 a.m. for chaos. Your cat is tracking the rhythm of your house: the coffee grinder, the shower, the first footsteps, and keeping your routine on rails. If you work from home, they'll appear right when you should stand up from the chair and maybe touch the grass. Midday, you'll get the slow blink stare from across the room, the one that says, "Hey, go refill your water and stretch," before your spine becomes a question mark. It's not nagging, it's maintenance. You being predictable makes their world safe, and you staying regulated makes yours better, so they keep you on schedule. While we are in the maintenance department, let's talk about air quality and sound checks. Cats live in a realm of invisible data-scented currents. Micro breezes, small clicks you've tuned out since childhood. When they fixate on one corner of the ceiling, they are hearing ductwork pop or a draft shift. When they snake around your suitcase after a trip, they're reading the world you dragged home: hotel hallways, airport food court, other people's detergent. If they keep revisiting one spot under the sink, by the baseboard in the hallway, they might be flagging a slow leak or a visitor, the tiny kind with too many legs. Your cat's curiosity is preventative maintenance. It's the free inspection that could save you from finding a soggy cabinet in 3 months. And yes, the whole mighty hunter thing isn't just personality flair. Your cat is running pest control. Spiders, moths, occasional ants, ambitious houseflies who thought your apartment was Coachella, consider them audited. That intense stalking session across the kitchen, followed by a sudden pounce and a victory chirp. Closing tickets. Even if you live bug-free, the ritual matters. It broadcasts to any rodent within smell range that this territory belongs to an apex napper who moonlights as a predator. That scent lined around the baseboards, the little cheek rubs against furniture legs, it's your no trespassing sign in a language the wildlife understands. Here's one you might not realize: cats manage your soundscape. They absorb silence in a way that makes a room feel safe. When your cat settles in the corner during a storm, they're telling you the thunder is a show. When they move from window to window during fireworks or leaf blowers, or that neighbor who does drum practice at questionable hours, they're positioning themselves between you and the noise like a fuzzy acoustic panel. The soft chirps, the loaf mode purrs, the little trills when they see you walking in, those aren't random. They are emotional cues. Your cat is mixing the audio vibes of your home, swapping tension with everything is normal sounds so your nervous system doesn't fry. Also, they are your social bouncer. Pay attention to who your cat tolerates and who they avoid. Cats are brutally honest PR teams. If someone walks into your place with chaos energy, your cat will go into stealth mode under the bed. If a friend sits down and respects the vibe, your cat will claim a knee. That's not rudeness, that's pattern recognition. Your cat remembers who moved too fast, who ignored boundaries, who tried to scoop them up like a plush toy, and they will absolutely flag that for you with how they behave. Over time, you adjust your own social roster. Even subconsciously, the cat did that. Hydration monitoring? That's on your cat's list too. Notice how often they escort you to the kitchen or the bathroom. Some of it is curiosity. Sure, oh, we walking now? But half the time it's a little wellness audit. Sitting too long without water, and your cat will decide the bathroom sink is suddenly fascinating, luring you into turning on the faucet. They'll drink, you'll drink. Everybody wins. If you get up at night, they move with you, tail up like a glowing stick. That hallway feels less haunted with a small body trotting ahead, right? Even their habit of supervising you while you brush your teeth is about routine reinforcement. If you are consistent, the world is safe. Your cat is also a tiny weather forecaster. They read humidity in their bones. Notice the pressure dips before you do. On heavy days they go boneless on cool tiles and teach you the art of slowing down. On bright days they relocate to sun petals and remind you what warmth looks like. People talk about following the sun, but that's basically natural light therapy. You adjust the blinds or move your chair because they sprawled somewhere golden, and suddenly your body is in better light. That small shift is free medicine. And smell, wow, smell. Cats curate the scent profile of your home like a sommelier. They rub cheeks on the couch, the door frame, the corner where you drop your bag, weaving a signature blend that says ours. That reduces their stress, but it also reduces yours. When a place smells familiar at a level you can't consciously measure, your brain relaxes. When you bring something new in a thrifted jacket, delivery boxes, they do a full intake. If they accept it, great. If they park themselves on it for 2 hours, they're mellowing the sharp newness before it hits the rest of the room. Your interior designer didn't do that, your cat did. Let's talk about the way they manage your posture and circulation. This sounds wild, but if your cat climbs into your lap right when you're hunched over a laptop, they are forcing a reset. You lean back, you shift your spine, your shoulders dropped, you breathe deeper. Those little biscuit-making paws on your thighs, the gentle kneading, activate pressure points and micro-massage your muscles. Meanwhile, you're locked in a position that gives your wrists a break from typing. 5 minutes later, you've prevented a tension headache. Thanks the manager with the whiskers. They are even your subtle pen pal coaches. Have you noticed how cats will settle nearby when you're on a phone call or video meeting? They anchor your attention. Without realizing it, you pause between sentences because you're stroking that little bridge of fur between their eyes. Your voice levels out. You sound calmer, more grounded. People respond better. Somehow your cat just improved your communication skills and your Q3 metrics by existing next to the keyboard. They are also your personal security checkpoints. Cats are excellent at noticing when doors and windows aren't fully latched. If your cat suddenly hyperfixates on the balcony door, tapping the frame or sniffing with determination, check the lock. If they paw at a cabinet you never think about, open it. Maybe a cleaning product leaked. Maybe something expired. If they insist on standing in the entryway right as you're heading out, give yourself 3 seconds to scan for keys, wallets, phones. 9 times out of 10, one of those is on the counter. You think you're forgetful, your cat thinks they prevented a crisis. There's the Joy Concierge service. That random toy your cat drops at your feet when you're clearly buried in emails. It's not just playtime, it's joy scheduling. Cats understand bursts of energy and they know boredom is a health hazard. A 5-minute chase with a crinkling mouse snaps your brain out of doom mode, sends a shot of oxygen through your body, and reboots your focus. They keep your life from becoming a grayscale slideshow of tasks. They're very pro-color. They'll also protect you from phantom threats you'd never notice. Look at how they test the vacuum monster every time you wheel it out. They make sure the beast is still loud but harmless and that its lair is the closet. They follow it with wide eyes. And when it parks, they double-check that you're okay. Same deal with ladders. Step stools, the giant box cutter you use for deliveries. Your cat puts themselves between you and the odd object, tracking your moves like a stage manager who knows the props could bite. If you stumble, you'll hear the chirp, a tiny "you good?" check-in. And when you are sick, cats switched into nursing mode with zero training. Fever days, they become a weighted blanket. Stomach bugs, they adjust positions so you can lean different ways without losing the purr. Migraines, they find the darkest corners and squat beside you. Whisper quiet, like they turned the volume slider down for the whole apartment. They'll skip wild play because the room is fragile. You'll think, wow, you're being so sweet today. And yes, they are, but they also just stabilized the situation. Energy management. Mastered. On days when your confidence gets wobbly, a cat becomes your hype team in the strangest way. They are shamelessly themselves. They walked into a room like they paid for the place in cash. They took up space on the couch exactly the size of their joy. They blink slowly like nothing has ever been urgent in the history of calendars. When you absorb that, you move through your day 2% bolder. You hit send on the email. You set a boundary. You let yourself nap. You adopt a little of that feline I am the moment energy, and your life gets less small. They'll even run interference on things that drain you. Ever notice how a cat will sit squarely on top of the one document you keep procrastinating or the laptop when your brain is fried? That's not sabotage. That's a screen break, enforced by pillows. You pick them up and in doing so, you take 15 seconds to breathe. 15 seconds times a few interruptions a day is the difference between I am a ghost and I have a pulse. Your cat is also surprisingly patriotic about the home team, you. The way they greet you at the door, even if it's just a tail twitch or a single chirp, is a receipt. It says, you left, and you came back, and the world didn't collapse. That micro ceremony unhooks the stress of the outside. Shoes off, new room, new rules. Your nervous system clocks the shift because your cat marks it. That's ritual design. Super simple, wildly effective. Now let's talk about the things they don't do for you. A cat will not fake it. They won't give you the polite lie. If they trust you, it's real trust. If they loaf nearby, it's because you earned proximity. If they expose their belly, it's not necessarily an invite. It's I am this relaxed in your presence. That authenticity rubs off. You start seeking relationships that feel like a slow blink instead of a performance. Your standards go up because your cat won't let you accept less than peaceful. Without speeches, without pep talks, they recalibrate your sense of what good feels like. Cats also press test your boundaries in a healthy way. You learn to say, not now, and still being loved. You learn that affection can be consistent without being constant. You learn to read nuances, tail flicks, ear angles, pupils like dinner plates, and you carry that literacy into every other part of your life. Coworkers, friends, strangers at the grocery store. You're suddenly better at noticing when someone's had enough or needs space or is signaling I'm overwhelmed. That's emotional fluency delivered by a teacher who sometimes eats plastic if you don't watch them for 5 minutes. Even the mess, yes. The occasional art installation of litter pellets right outside the box is information. If the box is too small, too scented, too close to the washing machine that bangs like a drum line, your cat will file a politely chaotic complaint. Fix it, and harmony returns. You become someone who listens to small problems before they become big ones. You become responsive instead of reactive. That's a leadership skill, courtesy of a creature who once bit your sock because it looked suspicious. And we have to appreciate the way cats models rest with Olympic commitments. They do not apologize for napping. They do not explain a mid-morning sunbath. They do not justify the long stretch where every vertebra pops like bubble wrap. They remind you that rest is not a treat you earn at the end of suffering, it's fuel. Watching a cat wake up, stretch, yawn, reset, and then when it's time the laser focuses on a moth like it owes rent. That's the blueprint. Real rest. Real action, no messy blur in between. Some days the best productivity hack is 20 minutes of cat logic. Even their stubbornness has a gift in it. You can't force a cat to like a new thing. You have to introduce respect, waiting, paired with good associations. Try again. That patience, that gentleness, bleeds into the way you handle yourself. You stop white-knuckling change. You start leaving space for your own nervous system to catch up. Progress becomes sticky because it wasn't panic-glued together. Your cat taught you habit science without opening a single self-help book. There's also the creativity spark. A cat will watch dust floating in a sunbeam like it's a Broadway show. They turned a paper bag into a cave, a shoelace into a dragon, a cardboard box into a penthouse suite with open floor plan. Spend a week noticing that, and you'll start seeing potential everywhere. Suddenly that old shelf is a plant stand. That dull afternoon is a walk in a new neighborhood. That problem has 6 playful solutions instead of 1 grim option. Your cat rewires your brain for curiosity silently, stubbornly, adorably. And when the world gets heavy, they give you a tiny sanctuary. You bury your face in their fur and inhale that warm, bakery smells and remembers. Oh right, not everything needs to be figured out today. Some things can just be held. A cat won't ask you for a speech or a plan. They just share the moment. And that is sometimes the only thing that gets you through. So yeah, maybe to the untrained eye they're just napping in a sun puddle. But if you look closely, your cat is running a one feline nonprofit in your honor, stabilizing your schedule, proofing your home, curating your senses, editing your stress, coaching your boundaries, and sprinkling joy at suspiciously perfect intervals. They don't do it with fanfare. They don't send a calendar invite. They just show up again and again. Quiet, consistent, effective. The next time your cat sits at the window and tracks a breeze like it's sending them secrets, knowing those secrets are for you. The next time they purr next to your ribs and you feel your shoulders drop 2 inches, count that as a small rescue. The next time a housefly seems to vanish midair and your cat strolls away like a detective who just wrapped a case, tip your hat. You thought you were the one providing shelter and snacks. Turns out, you hired a specialist. Soft paws, sharp senses, flawless instincts. The best kind of help, the kind you barely notice because it just works.